Hey guys, what's up? It's Angelina and welcome back. I know it feels like it's been so long, but if you guys don't know, I got my wisdom teeth removed and initially I thought I was going to be down bad for like a few days. I was actually down bad for like 10 days, and once I was finally feeling recovered, then it was Thanksgiving and I spent time with my family and yeah, so I was pretty busy and unfortunately I only pre-filmed to a certain point and then I just didn't have a video to go up on Sunday. So for that reason, I'm sorry. And today I wanted to come back to you guys with a fun and exciting video. So today we're actually reviewing and demoing the Tom Ford foundation because if you guys follow me on Instagram, you would have seen me share that Tom Ford was actually 50% off for Black Friday, which is insane. They actually put the Traceless foundation stick for half off, which this is originally $90 and I got it for $45, which is insane if you know anything about Tom Ford. And they also put the liquid version of this on sale as well. I'm not sure if they're discontinuing this product, but this is a lot of people's holy grails. So I'm hoping that they're just reformulating and coming back better than ever because Tom Ford does really good complexion, or so I've heard, because this is actually my first time trying a Tom Ford foundation product. I picked up the shade Tawny and I checked Sephora's website and this actually sold out. So I definitely would check the Tom Ford website. I'll have all the links down below in case you're interested, and let's get into it. So today I filmed a little bit differently. I actually did my makeup prior to, and then I'm going to be talking to you with my makeup done. I just wanted to kind of try something different. Swipe brush over stick and apply on face in wide, gentle strokes. Alternatively, apply product directly to face in gentle sweeping strokes from center of face outward and blend with brushes or fingers. I do prep my skin the same way that I'd prep for regular foundation. So what I mean by that is actually as of lately I've been using the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dew Drops. I find that in the winter time this just works really well for me because not only does it hydrate the skin, but it also makes it tacky, and I find that my base product just adhere well to this product. I wouldn't necessarily say this is a primer, I would say this is more of a skincare step, and then I went in with the Tom Ford Traceless Foundation Stick. I think the shade Tawny is perfect for me. I noticed that a lot of different people could match themselves to Tawny. I will say this is a pretty wide shade range, so just because we are the same skin tone doesn't mean you have to go for tawny. I found that there was a lot of variety and a lot of undertones, which really impressed me. Initially, when I was checking to find my foundation shade online, I found that the swatches and the description online was actually a little confusing because initially I had matched myself to a lighter shade. I matched myself to like 5.6 or something like that, which now seeing this in real life, that would have been way too light. But the shade Tawny is perfect. It's kind of like an exact skin tone match. And what I will say about this is that I like to work in small sections. So I like to gradually build this up. I kind of like to go in with a small layer and then build as I go, just because this is a foundation stick. And so sticks can be a little bit, obviously it's not a liquid. So sticks are more of a cream formula, which means it's more of a thicker formula, which, you know, sometimes doesn't even matter because I do find that some sticks work really well with my skin and you can't even tell the difference. But I just build in small layers to avoid potential cakiness. It goes on very radiant, but once you set it down, it really does give you that nice soft matte finish. But I will say, maybe if you're someone who doesn't set your foundation, um, and you're planning to leave it that way, I just probably wouldn't recommend. The magic is really in the way that it looks once you have it all over the face and you set it down, because something about this looks very natural. And as you guys can see, I have a lot of redness. I have some hyperpigmentation from old breakouts. There are definitely areas of my face that I have layered the product up more. And I found that you definitely needed to build this one up. What I did was I went in with one layer all over the face, and then I actually was dipping my brush into the product directly just to get a little bit of product onto the brush that I was using to directly apply it and pinpoint those areas that I need more coverage. This is actually my second time trying this. I actually wore it once over my little Thanksgiving break and it looked really nice. I would say it's more of a medium to full coverage, but I would say more so leaning medium coverage foundation, and it is buildable. It does have a natural finish. So with this product, I feel like even though you are getting the coverage, it still manages to look very natural and really skin-like. And today I actually paired it with my Beauty concealer. The sweetener concealer is actually what I used under the eyes, just because I kind of wanted to keep in the theme of using creams. And I actually really like the concealer paired with the foundation. I actually find that they are very similar in consistency. Beauty is a little bit more drier and a little bit thicker, but I do find that the thickness of the cream is what really helps to maintain the coverage. So especially if you're spot concealing or you're into spot concealing, I would recommend a cream. So like the Tom Ford or even the Beauty concealer I love. Today I actually went in with some new blush products I wanted to try. And so I do have a lot of radiance on my cheeks today. So, you know, a lot of sparkly and glitter, which I'm not usually into, but I wanted to get use of some things in my collection that I haven't used. And I did set it down with my Dominique Cosmetics powder because you guys know that's my favorite powder in the whole wide world. And actually, my sister was here and she tried it for the first time and she also loved it. So she's gonna actually be picking one up as well. If you're wondering somebody else's opinion on the Dominique Cosmetics powder, because I obviously rave about it all the time, but in case you're wondering, she also really liked it and I find her to be even way more picky than me. And also we have different makeup styles. Like I prefer more like natural looking kind of dewy makeup and she's more of a matte girl. So yeah, in case you're wondering, she also really liked it. But anyways, so you know, I paired it with that powder because I really wanted to give it the best chance. Overall, this is a very pricey product, so it is kind of something where if I do recommend it to you, I want it to be the best of the best, because if you are going to have to pick this up at full price, you know, if they don't discontinue it or keep it on sale, then you know, $90 is a lot of money to be spending on foundation of all things. So my check-in time was actually 12 o'clock. I actually was editing and doing a few other things. So right now it's 12:42. So I've currently been wearing it for almost an hour. And as you guys can see, I feel like it's kind of worn in really well. I'm curious to see how this keeps up with my oils. I don't know if I'll be oily because these days I just never know with my skin. It is cold outside and drier, so we'll see how my skin goes. I'm back. I did have to put on my robe because I'm freezing, and I needed to put on a headband because I needed my hair out of my face. I have been editing. Actually, my Spotify, well, not my Spotify Wrapped, but my Apple Music Wrapped just came out, so I was just looking at that. And honestly, I am never surprised. Like every single year, I feel like I know what my Spotify Wrapped is gonna look like. The Weeknd has been my top artist for like 5 years. I definitely thought that Taylor Swift was gonna be like my number one this year. She's actually my number two this year, but I mean, I did play 3,000 minutes of The Weeknd and 955 of Taylor Swift. And then in my top albums, Evermore is my first ranked Taylor album. I didn't know I was an Evermore girl. I would like to check in. It's 3:15, so I've been wearing this for only 3 hours, and it feels like I've been wearing it for like 5. I don't know if it's because the sun is setting early, and that's why I feel like that. But anyways, I want to give you guys my thoughts. Obviously, right now we're in studio lighting, and I do try to like film clips in natural lighting and stuff like that as well. But my thoughts so far is that this looks very natural, and as I've worn it over time, it's definitely like worn in. I can see areas of my face getting dewy, like the, you know, right here, which is my usual area to get oily first, my eyebrow area, which I complain about all the time. It's not the most blurring foundation I own or have ever tried. I really think that this gives a true natural finish in a sense where, like, yes, it will perfect things. It's not going to give you 100% coverage, and it's also not going to give you 100% of that blur. And if that's something you're looking for, then I really don't think this is the one. I think that while this looks really flattering, it definitely isn't the most blurring, but it's also not the most texture enhancing. I think it's in a really good spot where, like, if you saw me in real life, you would think that I wasn't wearing foundation. I went ahead and I did my last natural light check-in, so I wanted to close out the video with my final thoughts on this product. I think the more that I wear this, the more that I like it. I think if you have oily skin, I don't think that this is going to hold up well. Now, obviously today I did go in with like a dewy blush, and I think in the future I probably won't pair this with a dewy blush just because it already is so natural looking and honestly becomes more radiant as the day goes on. Now, I actually do think that this is a stick that you can use during the winter time. I feel like it really glided over the skin and it just really meshes well with like your natural skin oils. It looks really good in this lighting as well, but it looks even better in natural lighting when there is no studio lighting. I'm not really sure if I would consider it to be like holy grail status, but again, stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe because if you stay tuned, then I tend to do updates like periodically on products, especially on foundations, because my skin is always changing and my skin needs are always changing as well. I'm actually pretty impressed with the way that it held up. I don't think that it's fading or looking splotchy or cakey. It looks very natural. I definitely think that if you're into more of like a natural medium coverage foundation, then I would consider trying this out. I don't see this being for everyone. I do see it being something that would be nice for every day, even though it is expensive, so you probably wouldn't reach for it every day. But I think because of how natural it looks, and I can definitely see myself shearing this down or building it up. I think I'd probably wear this on days when I'm going out, but in the daytime, because I think this is too expensive to use as your everyday foundation, because I feel like if I have like a special event to go to, I'd probably reach for something that I know is going to be more mattifying and oil controlling and also just more coverage in general. Definitely let me know if you guys picked this up during the sale or if you plan on picking it up or if you've owned it, because I know a lot of people have loved this throughout the years. But thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're new here, I'm currently retrying every single foundation in my collection. This one is actually new, so I don't really know if I'm going to consider this as a part of that series, just because at the end of my retrying series, I'm going to be doing a huge foundation declutter, and I'm just so excited to declutter because doing this series has really opened my eyes. There's definitely a lot that I like, but there's also a few that I know for sure I can get rid of. I did a blush declutter and I did a eyeshadow palette declutter. So we're going to be doing concealers, bronzers, highlighters, foundations, and primers. So we have quite a bit coming up. So definitely stay tuned if you're new here, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye.